This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's Sweetheart, Davian.
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy James. This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
You got the Canadian Grizzly, Matt Burns here, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I'm, of course, your host, James J., and it's a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with the Canadian Grizzly, Matt Burns.
What's happening, James? Thanks for having me, buddy.
Absolutely. It's great to have you on as well. Can you tell us where the Canadian Grizzly will be coming up next event-wise?
Summer's getting busy. We got Demand Lucha August 20th, joining into the Summer Rumble there. I got Taco Fest again for Demand Lucha, August 21st, 22nd, 23rd in London. I got Norfolk Wrestling, Destiny Wrestling, Top Tier in Hamilton, Crossfire. I'm everywhere I can be.
Definitely sounds busy for sure. But that's a good thing, right?
Absolutely. You can follow me on Instagram at Matt Burns Wrestling, and all the dates are posted there.
Perfect. And where else can we find you on social media and your merchandise?
I got a YouTube channel. I kind of just keep that as a little, little tribute and highlight stuff that I enjoy. I don't really broadcast it out much, but it's there for people that want to do a deep dive.
And merchandise?
Merchandise, got to catch me at the shows, my friend. Got to catch me at the shows.
Gotcha. And you don't have to go looking for it. All of the links to all his social media will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox. Alright, let's get into it. Not too long ago, you had the honor of wrestling the Good Brothers, Doc Anderson and Gallows. What was that experience like?
Yeah, I mean, that was for Maple Leaf Pro. It was awesome for a multitude of reasons. I took a step away from wrestling for a little while and came back in at late 2022. Prior to that, myself and Asylum had tagged for many, many years and kind of gone everywhere we could. So any chance I get to team up with him again, first and foremost, is welcome. But getting in the ring with the Good Brothers, who obviously, their reputation needs no explanation. They're international talents, champions everywhere they've worked. So I mean, it was a great experience. Again, being a part of Maple Leaf Pro for that, great experience. A nice Canadian promotion, kind of, rekindling a huge legacy there. It was awesome to be a part of.
You said that you took a couple of years off pro wrestling. What kind of caused you to? I
guess. Sorry. Yeah, what would cause that to happen? Well, I don't know. I started in 2002. I had my first match, so I think it was around late 2018. Just some business stuff came up, a few other ventures, and I took off to go work on cruise ships for a little bit. And then COVID hit and kind of threw everyone's life up in the air. And I think it kind of settled back around 2022. And I said, God, I miss wrestling. And I looked at the scene. I said, you know what? I think I can still go. So got my ass back in the gym, got back to work, and realized I still got a lot of gas left in the tank.
Hell yeah. Well, speaking of Anderson Gallows, obviously Bullet Club. I think you're one of the few people that could say they wrestled Bullet Club members and D Generation X members. you wrestled Billy Gunn, Road Dogg, and X-Pac. What was that like?
That was a tour we did with CWI on the East Coast of Canada, and that was amazing. Probably one of my favorite experiences in wrestling, because you had a locker room full of the people I grew up watching. From Hulk Hogan, Mick Foley, Kevin Nash, Tatanka, the Bushwhackers, the Nasty Boys. We had Beefcake there. Obviously, Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, X-Pac, Scott Steiner. I think, standing in the ring when you hear the DX music hit, and like, oh yeah, wait, shit, they're coming in the ring for me, was awesome. And if it wasn't us tagging against Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, it was us teaming up against Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, and X-Pac. And, we teamed with Steiner for those matches. It was, incredible experience. Validating, right? This is what we all want to do. We want to rub shoulders with the guys, with the legends that have been there before us. So it was a highlight of my career to be a part of that tour. And the stories that came with it, I'll never forget.
What was the top story during that run?
I think I don't know if it happens as much as it used to anymore these days, but it was just good times and good camaraderie with the boys. It was, the shows are one thing, and being able to kind of sit down afterwards and eat a restaurant fresh out of Lobster because we're all hungry. Having some drinks in downtown St. John's, Newfoundland, with the Nasty Boys getting wild is again, the stuff you hear, the stuff of legends, and being able to be part of it was pretty awesome.
Now, can you tell us about your tag team partner in the Flatliners, Nick Andrews, and your relationship with him?
Yeah, absolutely, my friend. Nick and I, we go back to, I want to say 2005, roughly. We met at a gym that was in Newmarket, being run by Ruffy Silverstein. And, we started training together, and our styles meshed well, and we kind of looked at each other and we said, looking around the scene at the time, we said, there's nobody packaging themselves like a true tag. And we kind of thought about it. We said, well, we're too small to be big guys, too big to be small guys. So what do? Well, let's team up and cause some havoc. So we did, and that worked out very well. That got us put onto national television with Amazing Race Canada. They were casting the season, saying they're looking for they're looking for teams, and we said, well, we're a team, we're a pro wrestling tag team, and they loved that. So we had another life-changing experience that was just fantastic. He's a good friend of mine, not just in the ring but out, and I think we've been in the ring against each other once or twice, but we prefer to be on the same side.
And such a legendary tag team that you were actually inducted into the Barrie Hall of Fame, Barrie Wrestling Hall of Fame. What does
Indeed.
that accolade mean to you?
Great honor. Barrie Wrestling was a great spot. I remember being there from when it started. So we had the Hall of Fame there. Along with that Hall of Fame induction, I think that was kind of right upon me coming back. But we had been, I guess, banished from Barrie Wrestling. So we had a match that if I won, we get to have one more run. And of course, I came up on the good side of that, won the match, therefore opening the doors for a Flatliners return to Barrie that just has yet to materialize. But Barrie's a great spot. The Barrie Wrestling has a good thing going there. We will happy to be back there if ever that materializes.
And you mentioned getting onto Amazing Race Canada. One of the better known reality shows out there. What was that experience like being on that show?
It was awesome. It was one of those things, you never think that it'll actually come through. You put out these applications and all of a sudden you get the call back. we were there for about 6 weeks of filming, and it was fun. It was stressful. It was tough. It was. Each task in itself was not overly difficult, but when you put the stress of a race behind it, the smallest little thing, you feel like you're going to be eliminated. So every little thing matters, and stresses can get high, but Nick and I we're smart, we're strong, we're quick. I think that we have one of the best average, I think, finishing positions if you look at Amazing Race Canada across the multitude of seasons, because I think we finished almost second place almost every leg of the race. Finished first place in India, where there was the wrestling challenge that we rose to the occasion for, obviously, and it was amazing until we knew it was about 5 minutes from winning, and we just had that feeling that someone got there before us. So bittersweet, kind of leave some unfinished business. I'd love the opportunity to do it again. Because you're so close to winning such a big prize and kind of proving to the world that wrestlers can do more than they think we can.
Hell yeah. So there might be a possibility of going back and righting that wrong of coming in second place.
Absolutely. If the opportunity presents itself, I'm sure we would. Absolutely. And to be honest, I think both of us are in better shape now than we were then, and that was about 10 years ago. So, I think we'd stand a good chance.
Hell yeah. Now, you actually got to compete for FCW, WWE's training facility before it became the Performance Center. How did that come about, and what was that experience like?
Oh, you're dialing way back here. That was many years ago. We kind of hit the road and hit a bunch of different promotions along the East Coast as we were going down to TNA when they were filming in Universal Studios at that time. So we were heading down for a little tryout at Universal. And we hit up FCW, did some shows for them. I think as a wrestler, whenever you can get outside your comfort zone and the same group of people that you work with, and get into these promotions and share time in the ring with people that you don't know and different styles and different fan bases, that's what kind of molds you as a wrestler. If you're staying with the same 20-mile radius, you're not going to learn, right? So I think you really got to push yourself, get outside the box, get outside your comfort zone, hit the road. So it was a great opportunity. It was a great little tour. We had a blast.
I mean, speaking of WWE, you have done extra work for them. I believe you were a security guard for a Rhea Ripley pull-apart, no?
Absolutely. That was broadcast. It was rebroadcast on the first ever Netflix episode. So I guess I can go down in infamy that way. It was, it's again, another comment, it's as a wrestler, you want to be where you want to be. You want to be at the top of the game and however you can get there. So when they come to town, I'm happy to be backstage and be used in whatever capacity is needed.
And, was you able to talk to somebody in WWE when being backstage?
Yeah, like the way the days go there, they've got the rundown of what they need to do and what you need to get done. When the extras are around, you're kind of hanging around attentively, and sometimes people are gracious enough with their time to sit and share some stories, share some advice. You're able to kind of watch the guys do what they got to do, to get ready for their matches. You're able to talk to some people. I think when we were there, I think it was in Montreal. I believe it was Regal kind of had the group of us aside and was just, sharing little tips, little things that they look for when they're evaluating talent, little things that are important, the importance of proper pins, the importance of just proper movements in the ring and how to, I guess, elevate your game.
I gotcha. Now, and I mean the question on everybody's mind is, how was catering?
Catering is good. It's always plentiful. At that time, I guess I wasn't watching my diet as much as I am now, so it was delicious, and I probably ate way too much.
Now, going way back, almost at the beginning of your career, you had the opportunity to wrestle Jake the Snake Roberts. What was that experience like?
That was for Stranglehold Wrestling many years ago at the Opera House in Toronto. I remember, I was just a kid then, and I guess at the time, you're excited, nervous. I feel it was a great opportunity. I don't know, looking back, if I would say I was, I guess, mentally prepared. Jake's obviously a legend in the business. And at that time, he was still kind of going through a lot of his personal issues.
Right.
So I remember showing up there and being pretty excited, and then kind of seeing Jake not exactly in the best state, and it instantly took the wind out of my sails. Now, with that being said, you wouldn't have noticed it in the match. He didn't lose a step. Jake is who he is for that reason. He was always a phenomenal wrestler. His ability to put a match together and is second to none. So it was phenomenal to just go through that with him. I remember the promoter had bought a snake off eBay the day before, so they got this snake, and nobody really knew the temperament of this random, eBay snake. And so Jake says to me, there's a snake sitting in the bin in the back. He says, okay, I'll be in the ring and I'll take the snake, I'll put the snake on you, I'll take the snake off you, and when I take it off you, just roll out of the ring. I said, okay. So we started the match, and Jake had kind of beat down two other kids there. And in throwing them corner to corner, I think someone may have kicked the bag with the snake a couple of times.
Oh, no.
And so by the time that we got to the end of the match, I'm sure the snake was already pissed. And, I tried to fight it as best as I could, but Jake hit me with that DDT. And, there's the 1, 2, 3, and Jake rolls out of the ring. And from the side of the ring, he goes to leave. And, of course, the crowd's not letting him go, right? They're not letting Jake the Snake go without pulling out the snake. So he comes back and he undoes the bag, pulls the snake over his head, and then slides it across the ring, and it runs into my side, and the snake starts to go over my stomach and then coil around my legs, and I could feel it tightening up. I said, "Oh, get me the fuck out of here!" So I ripped the snake off of me, and I rolled out, and then the snake went into full attack mode, just zipping left and right. And Jake, again, being the professional that he is, it was waved, I guess, a bag to kind of distract it, and then with his other hand, reached in, grabbed the snake by the neck, lifted it above his head, and the snake instantly wrapped around his arm, severely, and he just bolted through, a few pats on the back from fans as he made his way back to the dressing room, screaming, open the bin, and just shoot that snake off his arm. He was like, get this fucking thing off of me, because nobody knew what the snake was. And it was a wild moment that again, it could have gone way worse if Jake didn't know what he was doing, even in the a lesser state, if he didn't know what he was doing, holding that thing back. But quite a wild time, and I think we were in a match with him a few years after that, and Jake had gone through his DDP yoga and his amazing comeback, and world of difference. So much respect for the guy. Super happy for him. But yeah, that was a wild night at the Opera House in Toronto. I think I remember seeing about a week later a story on the Toronto News where a police officer found a snake at the side of the road in a bin, and
Oh God.
yeah, it was. I think it was left at the side of the road in Oshawa, and there's no proof, but I can guess where that came from.
Moral of the story: don't buy a snake off eBay.
Right. Yeah.
Didn't even know that you could buy live animals off of eBay.
Yeah. I don't know if you're supposed to.
Well, maybe this was a wild night as well. You had a 10,000 thumbtack match against Cade Von Dutch.
Indeed. I think if I remember correctly, that was PWA in Waterloo. And again, we're going many years ago. See, there's not many a time that I've stepped into the hardcore realm, but if I need to, I'm happy to step up. And I think at that time Warhead was injured, and it was supposed to be the two of them, but Warhead couldn't compete, so he ended up being the referee for our match. And then I said, all right, well, let's do it. And I think that was my first time with thumbtacks. I had been, I think, a few cage matches here and there, but that was the first kind of light tubes and thumbtacks. And I remember setting up for a rock bottom off the top. I think there was two big bumps I remember with those tacks. I think one was there was like a power bomb. I think I went for a Frankensteiner, and it was countered. And there was a sit down power bomb off the top rope, right into the tacks. And my God, those are the kind of things you don't forget. And then I think the finish of it, if I'm not mistaken, it was a rock bottom off maybe the second, and boom, right onto the tacks. And the thing that hurt the most was not even my back; it was my hand hitting the tacks.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think we had some light tubes busted in there somewhere too. Like I said, generally not a hardcore wrestling fan, but if it needed to be done, I stepped up to the challenge. Great match. I had a great time. Yeah. Good night in Waterloo.
I mean, it doesn't sound like just a thumbtack match. It seems like it was a full-on death match, honestly, if there was light tubes involved.
It was something, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, when you're no DQ, you're no DQ. So anything's fair game.
I gotcha. Right. Well, obviously, it did ignite an extreme side of you afterwards.
Indeed.
Now, you've been on PWI's top 500. A lot of guys want to get on that list once. You were on that list 8 years consecutively. What does that stat mean to you?
I mean, I think it's the PWI is many different things to many different people. I think the one thing that it does is it's validating, right? To see your name published alongside the top stars in the business, just it's personally rewarding. If nothing else, it gives you the opportunity to hold that up and show the friends that are saying, oh, yeah, you're wrestling. Well, what does that mean? And say, well, here you go. Here's what it means. I'm ranked alongside the top 500 stars in the business. Being there 8 years running, I put in a lot of good work for a long time. And again, stepped away for a little bit, but now the challenge becomes, okay, so now I haven't been on the list for a long time. So now how do I get my name back there? And that's kind of the focus now is, at that time it was great. It was young. I was energetic. Nick and I were doing a lot of good work in the tag realm. Now the career is mostly, we tag once in a while, but it's mostly a singles run. And now it's the drive is, okay, let's get back on that list, and so I can prove to myself again that I belong there.
And you's not teaming as often. Is that intentional, or is it just a schedule thing?
I think it's just kind of evolution of our careers and, evolution of ourselves as performers. Asylum and Stone Rockwell are maybe one and the same person. I don't know. But, he does a lot of great things around Ontario as both gimmicks. Myself, I've really just kind of been, again, pushing myself to a new level, a new standard. And the tag wrestling, I love it. I love having someone in the corner there. It's you share stories with, share the ring with, strategize with. Again, that was kind of our focus for 15 years. As a dedicated tag, not a tag that wrestles together here and then is fighting each other in another promotion. We made sure that people knew, when we're on a show, we got each other's back. We're a team there. For again, almost 15, almost 20 years. But now is a point where, again, when I got back into the business, it was a matter of let's see how far I can push this. Let's see how far I can challenge myself. So I'm happy to tag with Nick with Asylum anytime I can. He's still one of my best friends. But I also love pushing myself and wrestling the top guys out there today. Putting on great matches. It's a different world when you're singles. You got nobody in the corner to bail you out. So there's a different level of conditioning needed. There's a different mindset needed because you're there on your own. And maybe it's a bit of scheduling, but it's more so just kind of pushing myself and challenging myself to be the best I can.
I gotcha. Now, we talked about WWE, but you actually had a bit of a run in Ring of Honor as well. You did a mini tour, I would say, and you even got to compete against the Young Bucks. What was that experience like, working for Ring of Honor at that time?
Yeah, I think at that time, Ring of Honor was still a great individual promotion. Right now, it's kind of part of that AEW banner. At that time, it was a standalone place you wanted to be. So it was awesome to get that opportunity. And again, with the Young Bucks, who were all the rage then. I think we had a couple good matches there with the Bucks, with House of Truth. We did some TV for them in Baltimore with Carino and Rhino. I think it was awesome. It was one of those things where we were trying to push ourselves as a tag and see where we could make it. And it was fun yet frustrating because we never quite established as a returning team. We had some appearances here and there, and we were ready and willing to do whatever needed to be done and whatever they needed from us when they were in the area. Like I said, we went down and did a little bit of stuff with them, and I think it was Delaware and Baltimore. We did a nice tag camp with them down in Philly. It was, I think, again, in wrestling, some people want to just go out and wrestle close to home, but our goal was higher than that. And we were just trying to do whatever we could. Going to see the career, obviously, the Bucks have had, being able to look back and pull up a match with them from 15 years ago is a nice notch on the belt.
Did you have a conversation because they're Matt and Nick, and your tag team is Matt and Nick?
That's right. Yeah, it was a big fight to see who gets to use that on a bigger stage, and unfortunately, they won that night.
Now I think it's time for Matt's Bizarre Adventure. You're a pro wrestler that goes up and down the roads, and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
Ooh. Weird, crazy, and bizarre. I mean, I think it would have to go back to our CWI tour there, where we were in, I think it was Newfoundland or maybe New Brunswick, and a bunch of us were heading out after the show, and then after the bar, and you get some drunk locals that they see wrestlers and they want to stand up and prove themselves. So you had a few guys that were just getting rowdy, and I remember one guy got up into Knobs's face, the nasty boys there, and he kind of just looked him up and down, and I remember he grabbed his hat off his head and he slapped him left to right and then up and down and tossed his hat just into another crowd of people, and that crowd of people just all of a sudden it seemed like like a shot went off and people just started brawling everywhere. Not the wrestlers. We were all kind of hanging back, like just like looking at just absolute craziness happening in the street. We're all kind of like, okay, it's time for us to get out of here. But it was quite a wild night on the East Coast.
Definitely, a bar fight is definitely crazy, I would say.
Yeah.
Now, another wild experience you've had was that you were on Dragon's Den, the Canadian version of Shark Tank for our American viewers. You actually had like an impromptu match on that show. Can you kind of tell us about that?
Absolutely. It was wow. How many years ago was that? That must have been around 2004 or 5. And I was approached from some people out west saying, they were coming to do a pitch and they just needed some people to stand in as props. So there was myself and notorious TID Chris Tidwell, who I think he was actually in a wheelchair at the time. He had an issue with his leg.
Yes.
And then if you watch NXT or SummerSlam or Raw or SmackDown, you'll see the referee Adrian Butler, who used to wrestle in this area as Hornet. He's one of my best friends. He and I were the stand-ins. We were the props that they were trying to sell to pitch this business to the Sharks. They kind of said, all right, we were standing there and they said, well, like show us some wrestling, and we weren't prepared to. But I guess I don't know, or I think it was maybe Kevin O'Leary that said, all right, well, like let's get to it. So we just kind of started to chain and go hold for hold, a few takedowns on the floor, and the Sharks were all up out of their seats having a great old time. And I think they were very close to investing, but I don't know that any deal actually ended up happening. I think it was funny because one of the Sharks, it was Jim, the Boston Pizza guy. He I guess told us at that point he used to be a pro wrestler himself many years ago, and somebody had some previous dealings with the guy that was trying to pitch it. So nothing ended up coming through, and went home without a deal. And I remember kind of waiting and never actually got the pay we were promised for that either. So lesson learned, but a fun TV opportunity, that's for sure.
Sounds like the Sharks were right not to invest.
Well, I guess, yeah. I don't even remember the name of the guy who was the name of the company that was they were trying to pitch, but I never heard from them before that, and never heard from them again.
So, need to get back on Amazing Race, need to get back on Dragon's Den, making a checklist here.
That's right.
Something incredible you got to do was you actually built houses for people in the Dominican Republic. How did that actually come about, and what was that experience like?
It was life-changing. It was with a charity called Live Different. I think we in North America take for granted everything that we have and everything that we have access to. Clean water, a roof over our head. I had a good friend that worked for this charity quite a few times, and I had seen her experience over the years, and I had reached out and said, I'm definitely interested. So opportunity came up, and I went down with this charity. We were just outside of Punta Cana, and they would bus us into this little town or little village, I guess, and where they had demolished a man's hut that was literally just, metal tin, a few pieces of tin that were put together, and there was no running water, and there was, no electricity, and yeah, we would sit there and mix the concrete, lay the bricks, and lay the not so much a foundation, but lay the bricks, do the mortar, do the roof, put in some plumbing, and we made a little duplex for a pair of brothers who had been living. They'd be soaked when it would rain, so we kind of gave people a dry house to live in, and it was amazing. I got to connect, with the village, and again, the amount of houses that Live Different has built in this neighborhood, they've completely transformed people's lives. I definitely recommend it to anybody who is interested. If anybody has questions about that, feel free to reach out. I can put you in touch with Live Different in a group. Definitely a life-changing experience where you really come out of that appreciating what we have. You come out of it with the notion to be thankful, and just kind of don't take for granted, and that we have the ability to, wrestling aside, I have the ability to have running water. I don't get wet when it rains. I have the ability to chase a dream and get in the ring and entertain crowds and travel, stuff that not everybody has the chance to do. So it made me very, very thankful.
What was it like just being in the Dominican Republic? What was that environment like? Obviously very different than, what we have over here.
Yeah, we were staying at a very small, resort, but not like it's, not you when you're thinking of it all inclusive, like party resorts. It very, very different. But we were staying a little bit off site, and that was fine. Dominican itself, there's some beautiful areas, there's some beautiful beaches, there's some beautiful touristy areas. But again, like once you leave the touristy areas, it's also very eye-opening to see. These ports where the cruise ships will come in, and they've put massive amounts of money into the facade to make it look clean and pretty for the cruisers. But then again, you go 5 minutes outside of that port, and the people are living in filth. But the kids are still running around happy. They don't know any different, right? So people are just living their life. It was, Dominican Republic as a country is again awesome. I vacationed there many a times. This was just a lot different because it was a lot more powerful.
Right.
There's a lot of political struggle that goes on with the people in Dominican, and the people in there. A lot of them get rounded up, and if they don't have proper paperwork, they're deported to Haiti, and sometimes it's instantly. Without the opportunity to, plead their case or see their family again. People are can be ripped apart. So, it's eye-opening when you step outside the resort and see the way that the actual day-to-day life functions. Again, great trip. Love it. I do intend to go back with the charity again on another project, on another build. I also plan to go back there on vacation again to an all-inclusive resort and spend my time relaxing. So, Dominican is great. They need our tourism dollars. So, enjoy it. Enjoy the country. It's safe. It's lovely. The people are wonderful.
I would have to research a little bit, but I'm pretty sure that they have pro wrestling there. Has that ever been in the discussion to wrestle in the Dominican?
I think I've never actually looked at wrestling exclusively in the Dominican, but at this stage in my career, I'm looking to go anywhere and everywhere I can. I've recently done a little bit of a rebranding, I guess a little bit of a character evolution, if you will. And, with along that, I want international exposure. I want to be in the ring with the best the world has to offer me. I want to entertain fans everywhere I can. So the doors are open, and I think 2027 I'm going to be hoping to get overseas somewhere, to be determined.
Hell yeah. Now, can you tell us about your tattoos and if there's any significant meaning behind them?
That's being a wrestler, I've remember being, I think it was an 18 or 19-year-old kid, and I thought to myself, well, look how cool Goldberg looks, right? He's got the tribal everywhere, and I thought, let's get some of that. So, like many a guy my age, it was the tribal armband came first, and then I was training at a gym, and they had a fundraiser, and it was the gym was run by some local bikers, and they had a tattoo guy, and I had won some tattoo time with him. So, put some tribal across the shoulders. And then I think I left it at that for about 15 years. And I said to myself, let's finally go and put some thought into the work. And I got a beautiful arm piece. It's a dragon with an English sword and some chrysanthemums, just a little bit, Japanese inspired, as I do love and respect the culture. And then after that one, because everyone knows tattoos are addictive, I got the Bushido code printed down my right torso, which basically stands, it's the 7 virtues of the samurai, which is courage, compassion, honesty, honor, integrity, loyalty, respect. Kind of a code I feel that I connect with very deeply.
Awesome. Is there plans for new ink in the future?
There is. I just I'm in the process of working on a few things. Again, as I continue with this new wrestling persona and kind of let that animal take over, I feel like I should market with some new ink. Just in the process of designing exactly what it is I want. But you'll probably be seeing something new in the near future.
So we're getting a grizzly bear tattoo.
Something with that mindset.
Hell yeah. I think it's time for the colossal question. Let's say they're making a movie about you. Every movie has a soundtrack. What would be the first 3 songs on your movie soundtrack?
Funny you say that. See, I'll sidetrack for one quick minute. I remember being a kid, and the Doors had their motion picture soundtrack, and I remember listening to that. I stole the CD from my sister, and I remember looking at or listening to the opening of it, and it ends with a little poetic line, and it says, "Did you have a good world when you died, enough to base a movie on?" And I think that line in particular stuck with me, because I kind of have that mindset in life. Like, everything I do, I want to make a good story. I want to do fun things, so that, when it's all said and done, I can look back and go, shit, I had fun. It would be, hey, that would be a fun movie to watch. Now, as it pertains to what would be the soundtrack, let's say I use it as my entrance, so I'm gonna have to say "Coming Undone" from Korn.
Okay.
That would be one, because we all got those moments where we're just a little bit loopy, What else? I don't even know. I don't have an answer for you. Something motivational, something fun, What are some fun songs? What's uplifting? What do you like?
Do I even listen to uplifting songs? I mean, right now I'm just listening to a lot of anime songs, so I don't know if that would connect with you.
Fair.
But I
Yeah,
mean,
sure.
if you need to, pull up Spotify, we could give you a couple. We could go on to another question to give you some time to think about it.
Sure.
Okay, so now that we have some of the soundtrack down, everybody knows you get the soundtrack first, then you write the script, and then you go to casting. Who would play you in this movie? And you can't say yourself because you are obligated to make a Stan Lee-esque cameo.
Who would play me? Let's see. I think it's a great question. Who would play me in my movie? Well, I'm not the pretty boy, so it'd have to be someone rugged. I would have to go with Mr. Jason Statham, or if I could go Bruce Willis from like 20 years ago. If we can get
CGI and an unlimited budget, so we could make
Bruce
Willis work.
Let's go with one of those two.
Oh yeah. Now that we have you casted, every movie has a supporting cast. Who would be 3 people significant to you and your story that would be in your movie, and who would play them?
Well, who would play? Let's go with my referee friend Daryl, Mr. Adrian Butler in WWE, and I guess we'll give him some comedy and let's put Mr. Aziz Ansari as the actor.
Okay.
Gotta have Nick in the mix, Mr. Asylum, tag partner again, many years. And who would play him? I'm not too well versed on Hollywood. I don't know who would play Nick. Again, open to suggestions. We'll have to put the casting call out and see who shows up.
That we could do. We could leave it up to casting.
Right? Absolutely. And then I've got a beautiful supportive partner right now. She's also a stand-up comedian. I'll give a little nod to my girl Denisha, and she can be played by the lovely Zendaya.
Perfect. Have we thought about what other 2 songs would be in the movie?
I grew up always a sports guy, not a music guy, so I don't know. Let's think. All right, I'm going to go with a classic as a soundtrack, and I remember this playing with at football practice and every football game. A classic Guns N' Roses reference of "Welcome to the Jungle."
Okay.
And then let's go with You know what else I like? It comes onto my my workout playlist. A little bit of "Till I Collapse" from Eminem.
Okay.
Let's go with those 3.
Well, definitely a solid 3 picks to say the least.
Right, a couple different genres, but all intense, hard-hitting.
Right. It is sounding like a great movie, a blockbuster to say the least, and you can pre-order the tickets now.
Absolutely.
Now on to...
If you're talking about blockbuster releases, when did you say this is coming out?
Next week.
Okay, so they'll miss the premiere. I've got a movie premiere coming out this August 16th at the Paradise Theater, but I guess it'll just miss the this release. But you can look for a movie called Jingle Man, where I did my acting debut.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. Who will you be playing in this movie?
That one I play a character by the name of Bikini Jack. I won't say more. If people are interested, they'll have to Google it and find out.
Okay. Well,
my wardrobe was overalls and a floral bikini. Can't miss it.
Yeah, that's definitely a sight. On to a controversial subject. Pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
Pineapple being a fruit. I don't know any other fruit we would put on pizza except tomato. Tomato also being a fruit. Do I like it? I don't love the acidity. I don't love the warming of it. I feel like pineapple can be reserved for, those Brazilian buffets? You go to like Toro or Copacabana.
Yeah.
The grilled pineapple with some cinnamon. Delicious dessert in that sense. I just don't see dessert as pizza. So I'm going to say pineapple, no, not on pizza. Final answer.
What's your spirit Pokemon?
Oh, it's a good question. You see, you know what I'm going to say to this, sadly, is I also am not a Pokemon guy.
Fair enough.
I just know who's the big dragon, the big fire-breathing dragon
Charizard.
guy. Yeah, let's go with that guy. He looks cool. He breathes fire. He's scary. He levels up. We're leveling up. Let's go there.
Perfect. Now, we love the late great Tracy Smothers on the show. Do you know the acronym for THUG? THUG.
The acronym for thug?
Yes.
I believe. Are we on like religious in it? Is it religious connotation?
No, it's not.
Because I've heard it from a Tupac standpoint as being truly humble under God, but not from Tracy Smothers' standpoint.
Would you like me to spell it out for you?
Please do.
T is for terrible, H is for hell, U is for ugly, and G is for jail, because a Doug can't spell.
Okay.
We love the late great Tracy Smothers, trying to keep the memory alive on the show.
Nicely done.
Weirdest question you'll be asked on a wrestling interview, hopefully. Would you ever consider wrestling a Rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, not the country, an actual physical Rock.
I feel like I'm a bit of a purist when it comes to wrestling. I'm not one that loves, I see a place for it. I don't love high comedy acts, again, I see some entertainment value 100%. I think the, wrestling of the Invisible Man or wrestling like a doll, as you see in some of these places, I think it kills some credibility. And my intention when I get into the ring every single time is to make everything I do believable. So I would go ahead and say my ideal would be to never wrestle a Rock, because it just is not believable unless it's just sitting in the ring and I cover it for a 3 count. But that would be boring as fuck. With that said, if the promoter's out there and the pay is right, sure.
Well, just for context, there is Psycho Mike that indeed wrestled a Rock for over 15 minutes in a Tungsten Man match. That's an Armed Man match that lasts for 2 weeks.
Yep. Mike is a unique talent in that respect. He can pull that kind of shtick off, and does it with great results. I love him. I've been in the ring with him many times. He's a great wrestler, but yeah, he would get a hell of a better match out of that Rock than I would.
And he did.
Yep.
He
That
did it
makes
twice,
sense.
actually.
I believe it.
Now, you are a Canadian from Canada, so I do have 2 Canadian exclusive questions for you. The first one being poutine. where is the best place to get it?
Ooh. See, I want to say Smokes, because I feel like it was like the first experimental poutine place. Like, people did fries, gravy, cheese, no problem. But I feel like Smokes was the first one that came out with like crazy poutines, like the Philly cheesesteak poutine, like these kind of compilations. So maybe there, but also just making that yourself, I don't think can be beat.
I got you.
Yeah. But stay away from like Wendy's and McDonald's and these chain restaurants. That's all trash. The gravy's just not right.
I got you. So it's the gravy that's the main attraction for you.
I think so. I mean, it's a good mix of the gravy with the cheese, but I'm not a huge cheese curd guy. So if you a little bit of, who's got a good poutine? There's a little restaurant in Buckhorn, right along the water. I want to say it's called like Main Street Grill. It's a little red barn, and they do a nice poutine with some fresh cut chips, and I want to say it's like an aged cheddar. Check that one out when you're up north.
All right. And the second question is Canada's greatest national treasure Ryan Reynolds?
Is that a general topic? People think Ryan Reynolds is our greatest treasure. What happened to the sports greats? What happened to the Wayne Gretzky's or okay, Ryan Reynolds, eh? I think that he's a hell of an actor. I love the Deadpools. I love his gin. But would I say he is our greatest export? No.
Who is then?
But I was gonna say, you beat me to it. I was right about to say, don't you dare ask me who is.
Well, I mean, you said Canada has great sports athletes, some of the greatest in the world. So
sure,
I'm assuming one of them.
Can I say me?
Sure.
It just hasn't. I haven't hit the quite the universal impact just yet, but we'll get there.
Hell yeah! If you want to say Matt Burns, you could say Matt Burns.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Now, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years, I will probably still be located in the general Toronto area. In terms of what my ties to wrestling look like, I right now I feel again I've recently connected with the Body Biz team out of Australia, and I've been busting my ass in the gym. I've been training. I've been watching my diet. I've slimmed down to about 14% body fat and dropped 40 pounds in the last like 7 or 8 weeks. 25 pounds in the last 7 or 8 weeks. So I'm feeling great. I'm doing everything I can to stay on the top of my game, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. But the reality is we're getting older, and time is not on my side. So for the foreseeable future, I will be pushing wrestling as far as it will take me. In 5 years, if that means that I'm still active and hammering out good matches, then fantastic. If 5 years from now my body says, "Hey, brother, time to step back a little bit," maybe I'll be on the production side of things somewhere. Running my own little handful of shows. But I definitely I realized when I did take that little break from wrestling that it's something I need in my life. So to keep a smile on my face, I would say that I will still have some involvement with wrestling and just don't know to what degree. Little known fact, I'm also a real estate agent with Remax, so I will likely still be doing that as well. And, traveling, living, loving life, and continuing one adventure after the other.
Hell yeah. And since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, We are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom. This is our speed round, our bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
Ah, shit. All right. Let's have at it.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Randy Savage.
Worst wrestler.
Worst wrestler. Whew. Honestly, I don't know that I've put much stock into who's bad, because everyone's got something. Everyone had something. Everyone that we watched growing up, they got there for a reason. Even people that the ultimate jobbers, they got there because they were great at making others look good. So I don't know that I have a worst of all time. I don't think I'll do anyone the injustice of answering that question, because everyone's put in their time and they've put their ass on the line for at least the least I can do is give the respect to not name someone as the absolute worst.
So you will be taking our default answer then.
What's the default answer?
You have chosen Eva Marie.
If that's what it is, that's what it is.
You're main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
Okay, so again, just by a absolute love for his performance, always I would want to say Savage, but I already named him as my top, so I'll go a different route. I would love to have been in the 3-way if I could remove Triple H and put myself in the mix with Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle. Would have been put me in that 3-way and I'm happy.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
I think Kane. That was a hell of an entrance. The music was on point. The fire was on point. Just what a jam.
Which one, the original or Slow Chemicals?
Slow Chemical was fantastic.
Oh, for sure.
If I had to pick a second, it might be some good old fashioned "I'm an ass man," a little bit of Billy Gunn, right?
Oh, for sure. Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is...
Kayfabe.
Kayfabe is kayfabe?
Absolutely.
It's also great on toast. Squash. Vegetable or fruit?
Isn't it a match?
I will accept that answer. New Japan wrestler Tai Chi. His ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
For men or for women?
In general.
In general, I think you need to let's say you're allowed 20% exposure.
20% exposure. Gotcha.
Yeah, I think so.
And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
Never in my life.
And that is the correct answer. And that will conclude this interview. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with me.
I appreciate it, my friend. It's again a little platform. Just get ourselves out there as best as we can. You do a great job, promotions for everybody. So on behalf of the wrestling world, we thank you.
Well, I really appreciate that. Thank you. Once again, where can we find you on social media and your merchandise?
So we got again Facebook and Instagram, Matt Burns Wrestling. Merchandise. I'll be putting stuff online soon. If I got some great T-shirts, stickers, trading cards, 8x10s, necklaces, all kinds of stuff. You'll find me at the merch tables where I'm performing. If there's anything of interest, get at me and we can work something out.
And you don't have to type it into your Google machine. All of the links to all his social media will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox, simply click the link. A new tab will appear on whatever device you are on. You have no excuse. Give him a damn follow. And if you're on a show, buy a damn short. Of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. This was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us next Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews, and follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on Xthread and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Alright, when I say wrestling wit, you say entertainment, okay?
Sounds good.
For ROH special guest Matt Burns, Coleco Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling Wit
Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show. Support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.